Zinchenko, who comes into that narrow Manchester City Guardiola position of fullback slash spare midfielder. Ben White now does the same. Out to Saka, who looks to jink away from Mykolenko. Mykolenko with a good challenge, which once again the Goodison fans have enjoyed, but Arsenal keep possession and knock it left to Zinchenko in the centre circle. 5 minutes gone, Everton 0, Arsenal 0 on Premier League Live. Out left to Martinelli. Everton staying in their own half at the moment. Not exactly a low block here from Everton. The defence has pushed up quite high, game very condensed in that midfield at the moment. Here's Saka away from Martinelli again. Away from Mykolenko even. Mykolenko with a really good challenge again on Bukayo Saka as the England international was carrying the ball in field. Zinchenko around the corner. Xhaka then left to Martinelli. Slight miscontrol, allowing Seamus Coleman to stick one on the winger. And that's what you were asked to do by Howard Kendall, and that's what Sean Dyche's team are doing here.
Yeah, and you see that the fans react to that. Everton so far have looked well organised, as you'd expect under Sean Dyche.
Zinchenko wins it back, low cross, cleared away. Onana and Calvert-Lewin do really well to break away for Everton. Over the halfway line, Dominic Calvert-Lewin running forward, carrying the ball, finding Iwobi out on the left-hand side. Up against White, who holds him up. Iwobi takes him on the outside. Back on the inside, former Arsenal player, of course, Alex Iwobi, a Frank Lampard favourite in a more central position. Out wide today for Sean Dyche. He's back towards the halfway line for the Toffees. Coleman on the right, flicks it forward, away by Saliba. Partey brings it down. Onana is the man who went forward and he stayed down here, and it's a head injury, so we have to stop the game as Granit Xhaka carries the ball upfield, as is only right. And we have a bit of a breather here.
Yeah, a head knock there, and the referees are under strict orders to stop the game straight away. I have to say, quite fortunate for Everton because Arsenal were breaking really quickly, but the right decision was made and Onana's getting some treatment. And overall, it's alright from Everton. It's one of those games where they can't take any chances. They're certainly not pressing. There's no high press, and that's not going to happen at any point, I would have thought, during the day.
We do have one of those silly planes being flown overhead by a selection of fans who need more to do with their lives. It's something to do with the Everton board. Out, time to go, Bill, whatever, save your money and do something else. They aren't here today, the directors. They just cut to the directors' seats inside Goodison Park, which we can't see from where we are. But the cameras have shown us they aren't here again today. I mean, I don't get the plane thing. I'll never get the plane thing. I think your view is clear already without hiring a plane. That's the kind of buzzing we can hear around us here and maybe coming out on our effects microphones.
Yeah, you know, everyone's got a right to protest and vent their feelings, but there's a time and place, and I agree with you. These aeroplanes that go across stadia with statements, it doesn't help. But it's full concentration from Sean Dyche. He's talking to his players now and during this break just to make sure that they keep focused, keep solid.
We are back underway. Onana is okay. No doubt that he was the recipient of a knock to the head there. There are some conversations about players who are kind of faking head injuries to stop counter-attacks, which is a despicable thing to do. But that is not the case here with Onana, and he is okay to carry on. And Arsenal in possession with 8 minutes gone. We're back underway. And the ball is with Ben White on the right-hand side, just over the halfway line. On to Saka.
You know, Saka doesn't half hug the line, doesn't he? Lines Saka as well, and really spreads the play, and that Arsenal midfield can start to play and link up in all that space.
Leads to quite long passes from Arsenal in those attacking areas because the offensive players are not that close together. Not long balls, as some might suggest they are. It's a good win from Dwight McNeil on the halfway line. Partey got a bit lost there, and Dwight McNeil is driving forward here. Dwight McNeil still going, takes his shot, chance here, maybe Calvert-Lewin. Ramsdale off his line with a claw away, and the offside flag has since gone up, but we play on with Odegaard driving forward for Arsenal over the right-hand side. Danger here for Everton, onto Bukayo Saka, blocked by Tarkowski. Mykolenko wins the next ball, but Saka has won it back now for Arsenal. Shouts of handball, not given against Bukayo Saka. And Arsenal will keep on building. White into Nketiah, around the corner to Saka. Good challenge by Tarkowski, who read it well. And Onana can bring it away for Everton over the halfway line. Tries to release McNeil, who's got the pace, but no one's got that much pace.
Yeah,
it goes through the Ramsdale.
That ball was on to just knock it over the back line of Arsenal, and Dwight McNeil was on his way, but overhit and been able to build stuff, and a bit of excitement for Everton fans there when Dwight McNeil broke forward. His shot was almost ricocheted into the path of Calvert-Lewin, but Ramsdale was quick to react.
10 minutes gone, 0-0, Everton-Arsenal. Bukayo Saka's over on the right-hand side. Back towards Ben White, who carries diagonal. Chip into the penalty area. Right to left, Martinelli brings it down. Zinchenko, early cross, but it was just behind him. Zinchenko tried a first timer into the penalty area. That was achieved, but goes straight through to Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, the ball was just behind him, as you say, Tom, and he couldn't get his foot around it how he wanted. But again, Everton's shown that they're pretty solid, but it just takes one moment of switching off, and you know that this Arsenal attack can score.
Big ball up towards Calvert-Lewin. Home crowd feel the England striker was being held. Referee gives nothing. Arsenal retake possession again after near 11 minutes. Possession 70-30 in Arsenal's favour. A couple of shots from both teams, but nothing to trouble the goalkeepers so far. Here's Partey outright to Bukayo Saka, who's over the halfway line and running at Mikolenko. Drop of the shoulder and a through ball to Nketiah. Tarkowski went to ground, won it back well, but Saka is back on the ball for Arsenal in the penalty area. Back to Partey, who does a trademark instep early effort, but it's straight to Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, Saka is on the ball a lot, isn't he? And he's the easy ball out for Arsenal. He does hug the line and has given Mikolenko a problem or two, although he's done all right. He's been forcing him inside, but Saka for me looks the real threat so far. 27 appearances this season for Arsenal in all competitions, 8 goals scored. Was the top scorer last year. Of course, England's top scorer at the World Cup as well. A real threat on the right-hand side for Arsenal. Saka, as Martinelli is on the left, but he's been crowded out by Everton defenders right by the attacking left corner flag. It's cleared by Everton, not for long. Arsenal retake possession again. A real high-intensity match-up to this point. Well, it has to be that way for Everton to compete with Arsenal. They need to be prepared to run, get the tackles in, hunt in groups. And so far they've managed to do that, but I said it just takes a second or two of switching off, and Arsenal have got such good footballers, they will make you pay. Oh, here is Partey, fouled a couple of times by Idrissa Gana, but they play on. Xhaka's ball to Martinelli was overhit, and that's a goal kick. It goes Everton's way. They're definitely trying to upset Arsenal, and it is working to this point. Yeah, you've got to get in the faces of the opposition. You've got to say that about every game that you play in, but certainly of importance now for Everton, and the Everton fans are liking what they're seeing. One or two little counter-attacks have happened, looked a bit of a threat, and that's encouraging. But the quality we know sits with Arsenal, and Saka so far has seen a lot of the ball, not so much from Martinelli. You can tweet us in the commentary positions. At TalkSport Live is the place to do so. At TalkSport Live. I usually ask you to let us know where in the world you're listening from, but it starts with "Good day, mate." So I've got a fair bet. He says, "I'm a Spurs fan naturally, but I want to see Everton do well today." Great to see Sean Dyche back in the dugout as well. Yeah, great to have you with us from, I'm assuming, Australia. Let us know where in the world you're listening. At TalkSport Live, your views on the game too. 13 minutes gone. Here's Zinchenko looking to slip one through the gap to Martinelli, who hadn't made the run there. And it's through to Pickford again, who today celebrates his 200th Everton appearance in the Premier League. Long ball early, up towards Calvert-Lewin, who can't get on the end of it. And Everton spit possession back again. Yeah, I mean, that's been one of the issues and problems for Everton through the whole season, that they win the ball back, but then they hand it back to the opposition. And they've done that too many times already. Nice ball, Zinchenko through the gap, then Xhaka trying to find Odegaard square, but that was under hit. Everton try and counter on the far side with McNeil. Held up and knocks it back to Seamus Coleman. Then to Connor Cody in his own penalty area. Very assured footballer Cody. Into Onana, plays himself into trouble. The referee has given a free kick Onana's way, and that's a spot of luck there for Everton, who get things moving quickly. Outright to McNeil. Carries infield in front of Sean Dyche in his suit on the edge of his technical area. Decore cross comes in, away by Saliba.
Odegaard into Martinelli. Thomas Partey. Everton chasing them down here. Arsenal comfortable on the ball in their own penalty area. Fans do like the work rate. You can hear that around Goodison Park. Down the line here, under pressure from White. Tarkowski's won it back, and Everton are in possession in Arsenal territory. Not a great ball there from Doucouré. Then into Ghana, who is adjudged to have fouled Bukayo Saka whilst in possession here. Stray arm, maybe?
Yeah, it looked accidental. Saka's gone to ground holding his head. And I don't think there's anything in that at all, really. I think what are players meant to do to shield the ball these days? He's just lifted his arm, he's caught Saka in the face with the palm of his hand, but the referee decides it's an Arsenal free kick. And there was a little bit of momentum there for Everton going forward, so it just takes the gas out of the situation.
He is complaining here, Bukayo Saka, and I tend to believe him here that he took a finger in the eye from Idrissa Gana. We're just seeing some close-up replays which support that claim. But it is worth noting, whilst we have a break in play, that for all the great things that Arteta has learned from Pep Guardiola and all the great things that Pep Guardiola has brought to football, the dark arts are certainly a very significant part of what City, what Guardiola, and now what Arsenal do.
Yeah, it has to be part of a winning team. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. Not everything is pretty, and you need an aggressive side to how you approach the game. Just looking down there, and Saka still having a bit of an issue. He has had that poke in the eye, but that's an accident. But he's struggling to shake that off.
Can be a bit nasty, no doubt about it. Shane has been back in touch. Of course, I'm from Australia, Tamworth, New South Wales. We knew. And good day to you, Shane. Keep your tweets coming in to @TalkSport Live. Let us know where in the world you are listening to us. We'd love to hear from our listeners in Ireland today. Your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on Everton too. I know there's a big contingent of Toffees fans there, so we'd love to hear from you. And listeners today can be treated to a full broadcast day of great games, I've got to say, today. Wolves-Liverpool is our next feature game. Followed by Newcastle against West Ham United. Also today available to our online and digital partners, Aston Villa against Leicester City, Brentford Southampton, Brighton Bournemouth and Manchester United against Crystal Palace. 2 feature games for you tomorrow. Unfortunately, not to our listeners in Ireland, but everyone else is available to get Nottingham Forest, Leeds United and Tottenham against Manchester City. But you won't miss a single goal in the Premier League today if you are with us all day here on Premier League Live. We are still waiting for Bukayo Saka to recover, so a quick question from Richard that's come in on @TalkSport Live. Trevor, your thoughts on Chelsea at the moment, having splurged more than the Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A and Liga combined during the January transfer window? A couple of 0-0s in a row.
Yeah, the game that they played against Liverpool, Mudryk comes on in the second half, and that performance I thought at Anfield was very, very promising. The second game, adding more players into the mix, I think it's a very difficult situation for Graham Potter to get right quickly. I actually do think he will get it right, but keeping those quality of players happy is going to be very, very difficult. They all expect to play, and we've already seen elimination from the Champions League squads, haven't we? Aubameyang and people like that no longer part of the Champions League campaign. We'll have to see how Graham Potter gets on with it, but it's obscene money.
Yeah,
it
no
really
doubt.
is. I mean, it's moving the goalposts in the way that we play this game, really. There needs to be some levelling out of how money is spent within the game, but of course the Americans have got tons of it, and Todd Bowley and his entourage.
Yeah. Trevor, thanks for that. Richard, thanks for your tweet as well to @TalkSport Live, coming in from Ghana, and our partner station out there. Keep them coming into @TalkSport Live. We'll try and answer your questions, but we love your observations on the game as well, so keep them coming in. We are back underway. Bukayo Saka's all right. That was him getting booed there wildly by the fans at Everton when he had the ball a few moments ago, but nothing has happened in particular, so we're back underway here with Arsenal in possession, as they have been for 73% of this match to this point. 19 minutes gone. As Saliba's ball forward, edge of his own penalty area, straight into touch, and it leads Onana, who was chasing him down, to just ask the fans for a bit more support.
Yeah, well, you've seen the first 15 minutes go. Everton have not been adventurous in their pressing, have literally kept that to their own half of the field. But once or twice now we've seen some high pressing, and that was a good example of it. And Everton win the ball back, the ball's cleared, and they have a throw in on this left-hand side.
Mikalenko down the line, Calvert-Lewin onto McNeil, back to the Everton number 9, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Decore under pressure finds a ball back towards the halfway line and Seamus Coleman. And the veteran finds Iwobi on the outside. The wingers have swapped and Iwobi is crossing. It's away from Gabriel for a corner on the right-hand side to Everton.
Better ball from Iwobi on the right-hand side, fairly deep position, but he gets good contact with the ball. Lovely ball in towards that 6-yard box, and the ball's cleared for an Everton corner. It's lifted the fans somewhat.
That piece is so crucial to what Everton have been able to achieve this season. Yerry Mina in the penalty area this time, who is a usual threat in these scenarios when fit. He's on the bench, but look for Tarkowski, Anana, Calvert-Lewin, Connor Cody, plenty of really tall, physical players in the area. And their manager is Sean Dyche these days. I wonder what they worked on this week. Corner comes in, deep delivery, chance for Anana at the back post. Just taken off his head there by an Arsenal defender. Saliba, I think, was the man just underneath it who got there first. That's another corner.
I don't know if they've been working on that, but the ball seemed to be overhit from Dwight McNeil to the far post. Ramsdale was caught a little bit flat-footed, and Onana just couldn't get a clear header at the back post, and it's another corner for Everton.
I don't think they worked on it. It's Sean Dyche. What was he doing? Rondo?
I thought Dwight McNeil overhit it. I think he overhit it. I don't think he meant to put it there.
Corner on the other side. Iwobi's deep delivery towards the back post. It's one. Heading towards goal by Tarkowski. Shout of handball. It's gone for another corner. That will be checked, of course, as everything is by the VAR. Looks like another corner.
Oh, that one was overhit as well. They have been working on this on the training ground. Exactly the same thing, just from the other side. Tarkowski that time got his head on it.
It's off the shin of Saliba. We've just got to replay this. So no handball, no conversation to be had. Third corner in quick succession. Once again they go deep. Once again there's a chance. It's Anana up in the air. Zinchenko away, not very far. Saka then helps it down the line for an Everton throw on the left-hand side. Very encouraging for Everton.
Very encouraging. And there's definitely Sean Dyche a bit of, as I said, training ground adjustment, let's say, to what Everton do from their corners.
One ball out left. Mikalenko leaves it for Dwight McNeil, who's buzzy and alert today, maybe for the first time in an Everton shirt. His cross is blocked. Another corner for Everton. This time it's Saka back defending as the Toffees are on top.
Yeah, it is encouraging for the home support. It's Dwight McNeil there turning up on the left-hand side for the first time in the game, and he wins a corner.
Fourth corner for Everton in the match, and fourth in the last couple of minutes. This time attacking left-hand side in front of where the Arsenal supporters sit. Iwobi near post, flicked on and flicked wide by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, whose ponytail came out when he was trying to head that towards goal, and that's the end of a flurry of pressure from the home team.
Yeah, that is, as I said, the home crowd will like that. They love what they're seeing so far. It is a little bit all about heart and passion so far, but at least it's a positive.
Arsenal take their goal kick short. Ramsdale has it in his own 6-yard box, ball at feet. Everton knew it was coming and tried to press high. Arsenal worked their way well out of it. Here's Nketiah, lovely turn away from Connor Cody. Free kick given. They're about 10 inside their own half, Arsenal. Trying to get things moving quickly. Cody stops them. They now are back underway. With Zinchenko who's come narrow. Forward to Xhaka, who runs forward. Looks to slip in Nketiah. Tarkowski read it. Decore clears it. Iwobi has it. Knocks it down the line to Calvert-Lewin. Going to be tough for him against both Gabriel and Saliba. Play back towards his goalkeeper there from Gabriel, and they've really done well. It was a heavy pass back to the goalkeeper, who just saved it on the end line, blasted back to the defender, who just put it down on the chest on the sideline. Really good pressure from Calvert-Lewin, forced that, but the trouble is, when you do that against Arsenal, they still find a way out.
Exactly, I thought that was more by luck than judgment from Ramsdale. He was trying to stop the ball, go for a corner, and it does connect with it really strongly, but they got away with it.
Well, miscontrolled by Bukayo Saka, crowd love that, takes on McNeil. McNeil knocks it against Bukayo Saka, and that's a throw in to Everton in the left back area. Feels like a different world, doesn't it, today? 2 other Everton games at Goodison. Yeah,
24 minutes gone, Tom. You know, it's been good. It has been good from Everton, but it's early days. Problem is, if they concede, we know that Everton have struggled to score goals all season. If they go behind, how are they going to get back into a game?
Well, they are experiencing currently their annual new manager bounce. And they score while on top. They have a free kick here, midway inside their own half. Handball against Granit Xhaka, I think it was. And at 25 minutes gone, the score is still 0-0. Jordan Pickford comes a long way from goal to take this free kick. Midway inside Everton territory, has a real long wallop on him, does the Everton goalkeeper. Might have the right manager at the moment. Up towards Calvert-Lewin, helps it on to Iwobi, further on to Calvert-Lewin, who tries a early flash shot towards goal, maybe hoping for a deflection towards the net, but it's straight to Ramsdale. Everton have won it back, and there's a chance here for Onana, who tries to loop it towards goal with Ramsdale a long way off his line. Didn't quite get enough meat behind it, might have dropped in. Ramsdale just runs back, seemingly casually, to catch it.
Yeah, half a chance really.
Yeah.
He was 10 or 15 metres off his goal line.
Arsenal now trying to reassert their dominance on the game, and McNeil is staying with Ødegaard here, running back towards his own penalty area. A couple of nibbles at him. Arsenal keep the ball. Everton pressing here with White on it for Arsenal. Into Saka, tries to turn Mikalenko. Mikalenko enjoying that physical battle today, and Everton once again win the ball back. Connor Cody will try a trademark diagonal, this time out right to Iwobi. Won by Zinchenko, brought down by Doucouré of Everton. Two players around him, and it's a short pass back to Ghana. And Doucouré just inside the centre of the field. It's a ball out right to Iwobi as they try and find the offensive third here, Everton. Iwobi, the former Arsenal man, runs in field and goes diagonal towards McNeil on the end line. Left-footed cross, on by Iwobi, brought down by Martinelli, and then looped clear by the winger in his own penalty area. No one's up there for Arsenal, so Everton can come again.
Well, Everton have got this option of going long for either Doucouré or Calvert-Lewin, and they've used it quite successfully in the last 3 or 4 minutes, winning the second ball, getting the knockdowns and getting themselves up the field.
Cody went long, Ramsdale won it. Arsenal can come forward down the other end with Saka, who takes on McNeil and Mikalenko, beats them both and finds the ball back towards Thomas Partey. Big test so far for Arsenal. Partey's ball intercepted by McNeil and thumped clear by Tarkowski. Calvert-Lewin's Saliba battle for it. Once again, it's the Arsenal man who comes away with it in the centre circle. The league leaders on the ball.
Joe, I think I've seen more from Dwight McNeil in the first 27 minutes of this game than I've seen for several games under Frank Lampard, and that is the Sean Dyche effect.
At the moment it hasn't led to a goal, but it certainly led to some threatening football from the home team, which has not been something we can say about the majority of their season to this point. Everton defending here with Saka crossing in the area away from Connor Cody. Calvert-Lewin batting again for the loose ball. No foul given against him on Saliba. Saliba now looking for some revenge. Calvert-Lewin trying to turn him. Saliba winning the ball, but all he can do is knock it into touch for a throw-in.
Done really well there, Calvert-Lewin. That's what you want from your centre forward, to be competitive with the centre back, used his strength, slid in, picked the ball up, and Everton get back in possession.
Giving it straight back though, Mikalenko down the line trying to find McNeil. Under pressure from Saka, the ball goes into touch, and we have our first lull in what's been a terrific atmosphere at Goodison Park, with Arsenal in possession. Everton unable to capitalise in their best spell of the game, maybe their best spell of the season at home. Only 9 goals scored at Goodison this campaign and 2 victories secured. Saka once again up against 2, Mikalenko and McNeil. Once again it's a Everton foot that comes away with the ball, but it's into touch for an Arsenal throw, and they can come again here, Arsenal, with Xhaka found by Mikalenko. Not great from Xhaka back to Gabriel, but they have been able to keep it, Arsenal. Here's Zinchenko driving forward. Round the corner, Nketiah. Ødegaard back to Nketiah, heavy touch, Mikalenko away. They are trying that intricate first-time stuff, Arsenal. At the moment, that last ball, Trevor, is just not coming off.
No, and Everton have got enough bodies there in the central part of defence, and Mikalenko just reacted enough in time there. A little bit of hesitation between him and Pickford, but nothing to worry about so far.
Partey caught by Onana. Just breaks to Saliba before Onana or Calvert-Lewin could nick it back for Everton, who are pressing well, tackling high, lots of intensity.
And you know what, they're tackling intelligently as well. They're not going to ground, they're not giving away fouls, and I'm sure that's another part of what Sean Dyche wanted from his team.
Here's Saka being fouled by Mykolenko, but no foul given because Nketiah is in, but he drives one over the top from close range. Brilliant footwork, great opening. The finish nowhere near good enough.
And I think David Cook, referee, is getting a bit of stick from the home fans there. They thought Mykolenko was fouled initially. I think it was 6 and 2 threes, wasn't it? Both pulling at shirts.
I think it was a foul by Mykolenko, if I'm honest, on the replay, but either way, the referee's given nothing when he could have given anything. Ah, great chance. What a great chance. Just
snatched at it. I mean, his open goal, Pickford standing there in his 6-yard box. He had to keep that down and go across the goalkeeper. And he slashed at it, ends up in the Gladys Street end.
Top scorer this season for Arsenal, Eddie Nketiah, 9 goals in all competitions. A terrific scoring run since coming in to replace Gabriel Jesus. Out for a while yet, I'm afraid to say, Arsenal fans. Big chance there, goes a begging. 30 minutes gone, 0-0. Partey once again caught by the pressing of Everton, this time Ghana, but they come away with it to the home team until Saka is then fouled. Once again, Mykolenko getting tight, getting close, making sure the winger knows he's there. Dychean, some would say.
It is, it's simple stuff really, but it's about effort from the players and doing that and the pressing in the right way. And I said they're not giving fouls away, which is a good thing to see, because that always relieves pressure, and you can build pressure on yourself, particularly when you're playing a team like Arsenal.
Not a great deal of goalmouth action to tell you about for those just joining us. Eddie Nketiah having the best chance of the game moments ago. Everton threatened from a bunch of corners maybe 10 minutes ago, but apart from that, it's not a game full of goalmouth action. Plenty of this though, midfield battling and Everton winning it back and trying to find a way to effectively break. It's Decore this time, away from Partey a few times. Eventually the referee gives a free kick Everton's way. Partey was pretty close all the way through that, too close for comfort for the referee.
Yeah, Everton winning a lot of these midfield duels, and Decore does well there, hunted down by Thomas Partey. And he was looking for an option to give that ball away, but he didn't really have any, so held on to it, and Partey eventually fouls him.
And it's a free kick, maybe 5 over the halfway line on the right hand side, a bit further than that actually, maybe 10 yards for Dwight McNeil to pop one towards the centre halves who've gone forward, and Calvert-Lewin as well, but Ramsdale has read it, comes out to gather, and that is something that will be thrown at Sean Dyche, isn't it? That we expect the battling spirit, but the tactics can be a bit Luddite.
I think what you do need, though, and we saw an example of it there, is you do need quality to come in from your free kicks, and Everton's plans have worked well in getting themselves up the field, but the delivery at times has not been good enough. We did see good delivery from corner kicks, and they had 1 or 2 near misses from those. But in general, the quality of delivery into the box needs to be better.
Poor ball wide, Onana's nicked it back. Odegaard isn't going to catch him. Onana's in the box here! Right across the 6-yard box from Onana. Calvert-Lewin couldn't turn it home. And that's a brilliant chance for Everton, which they've not taken.
Well, again, they win the ball, and Onana wins it himself. It's a poor ball from White to Odegaard. Onana, the Belgian, stretches his legs down that left-hand side. He gets towards the 6-yard box, pulls it across, and Calvert-Lewin has literally got a faintest of touches to it. It goes wide, just comes off the studs, can't get a full contact. Otherwise, it was a goal.
Went out for a throw on the far side, where Arsenal have not been able to get the ball away. And Everton, in fact, have won a throw-in by the attacking right corner flag, which Holman wants to take. Can get the ball moving quickly there, Seamus Coleman, so it goes back towards Connor Cody, who looks in field to Tarkowski, right-footed, upfield, towards Calvert-Lewin, who flicks on well. He'll find McNeil, left-footed cross, McNeil, chance! Decore's header, it's a glancer, and he glances well wide.
Well, Sean Dyche applauds his players because they've been really good, but he has to score. A great flick on from Calvert-Lewin. Excellent delivery into the box. I was talking about that from Dwight McNeil, and Decore has to score from 7-8 metres out. Free header, gets the faintest of touches just when he needed solid contact. Literally, Everton could have had 2 goals in the last 2 minutes.
Big chance for first Calvert-Lewin and then Abdoulaye Doucouré. Not taken by Everton, who are growing in this game with every passing minute. Sean Dyche will be absolutely delighted with what he's seen from his team to this point, as it seems are the home crowd as well, who've been right behind their boys today as we get to 35 minutes gone on the score 0-0. What about Arsenal? We've spoken a lot about Everton today for obvious reasons, home team and the narrative of the last week, but the league leaders here are struggling.
Yeah, they've struggled to get any momentum in the game. They are good on the ball, we know that. Saka was on the ball a lot in the first 15 minutes, but Arsenal can open up teams at any moment.
Xhaka on the far side trying to do that. They're in the offensive third here, Arsenal, but they turn back. Here's Thomas Partey into Ødegaard. McNeil is with him, gets the tackle in. Where will it break? It's out left, Zinchenko. Carried in field by Alexander Zinchenko. Then Thomas Partey finds a really smart release to Ben White, who's in field, but upfield. Ødegaard, Tarkowski with him. Back to White, here's Bukayo Saka. Space for Ødegaard, return ball to Ben White on the end line. Can he get there? No, he can't. Tarkowski lets it go out. And that's a goal kick for Everton. And once again, Trevor, for Arsenal, it's that final ball which has been misplaced, or the run hasn't been quite right. The final third hasn't quite been there today.
Yeah, it's just that final ball. It's always about the final ball. It's the same for both teams.
Yep.
If you get that ball right, you're going to score goals. And Ødegaard just, it's unlike him, just overplayed it where there was a big space for White to get into. It looked threatening for Arsenal, but again, as you said, that final ball needs to be a little bit better from both sides.
Hello to Lawrence Kenner, who's with us in Dublin, enjoying the game, a Villa fan, but enjoying this as a neutral. Papa with us in Buffalo, New York. Come on the Gunners, says Patrick. Hello to Richard and Shane, also to Nate, who's with us, Kwesi is with us, Marcelo, to Bo, to Jace, who sent a lovely picture of his dog eating a big Arsenal bone. Great to see that. Always enjoy dog pictures, I don't know why. Always make me happy. Keep them coming in to @TalkSport Live. Where in the world you are listening? Your thoughts on the game, your thoughts even on this Dychian masterclass after 37 minutes and what Arsenal have got to do to break Everton down. To be fair, under Frank Lampard, it wasn't defence that was the issue for the Toffees. It was offence, and that remains the case under the new boss at the moment. Arsenal, beautiful play to get out of trouble here. Everton chasing them, hassling them, harrying them, tackling them. But Arsenal keeping the possession brilliantly in their own half under pressure. Still doing so with Zinchenko. Then Xhaka, still in their own half here though, Arsenal. The press has finally abated, and there's a chance for Zinchenko to pick out a more measured pass.
Joe, that was really good football to watch, that, wasn't it? The way that Arsenal were really pressed and pushed by Everton to keep possession, and they did it so well, but it took them forever to go 50 to 20 metres, and in the end they end up back to where they started from. But really good football, technical football to watch from both sides.
It can look a bit higher wire, but certainly thrilling stuff from both teams, despite the scoreline of 0-0 as we get to 38 minutes played. Tom Money and Trevor Stephen with you on Premier League Live with our broadcast partners right around the world. Great to have your company on this Saturday early afternoon UK time. Ben White into Xhaka in the centre circle, then Saliba, then Partey, then Xhaka, just trying to work their way in triangles and squares upfield here, Arsenal. Maybe draw Everton on a little bit to find some space in behind, but there hasn't been a great deal today. Saliba crossfield, trying to find Martinelli. That's a really good ball, brought down by Martinelli. Takes on Iwobi and Coleman. Iwobi's tackle, then Coleman's clearance on the end line. That's out for a throw to Arsenal by the corner flag.
Yeah, it was a good diagonal ball there from Saliba out to Martinelli, but Everton were quick to react and get 2 players out there on him.
Zinchenko's deep delivery. Saka with the volley, a goal! It's off the line. Brilliantly read by Connor Cody. Pickford was beaten, but Pickford gets it, but Cody gets it away, and now it's further upfield from Iwobi, and that chance is gone.
Great defending by Cody. You've seen it early as the ball was falling to Saka on the volley, and Saka's quality is so good. There was a good chance he was going to get it on target. It was going inside the far post, but Cody read it and cleared it.
Lovely measured, controlled volley from Bukayo Saka, who's on the ball again here, away from Mykolenko. 4 on Ødegaard there, trying to tackle him at the same time. He finds a pass, and now White's cross, away by Coleman, brought down by Partey. Tries to get things moving quickly, but he's played one in between Zinchenko and Xhaka. Zinchenko's had to scamper back to get it back. And Arsenal are in possession with 5 minutes remaining of normal time at the end of the first half here. Over the top towards Saka, it's a chip one which he won't get on the end of from White, and once again that final through ball to the runner is misplaced by an Arsenal man.
That's because they've been under pressure from Everton. Just having another look at that. Pickford was nowhere near it from that Saka volley, and Cody gets there nice and early, nice and calm, gets rid of it. There were Arsenal shirts around him as well, so he's done enough to clear it enough not to be a threat.
He gets it up in the air as well, Cody, as opposed to on the ground, which even if it went to Martinelli close by, it would have been more difficult to deal with.
Absolutely, it was a good defending all round.
Calvert-Lewin brings down a big goal kick, but Gabriel wins it back. Calvert-Lewin then slides in. Could have been a booking there. Referee hasn't given anything additional. Arsenal want to get on with it. Doucouré has stopped it. A little bit of a waste of time really, as they do now pass it short to Partey. And it's now to Bukayo Saka again, who's still wanting the ball despite the physical attentions of Mykolenko pretty much all game. Partey now infield, left to Zinchenko. Zinchenko to Martinelli, Iwobi for company. Chops in field. Dummies to cross right-footed, then goes short to Zinchenko. Back to Gabriel, then out left to Granit Xhaka. Pokes on to Martinelli on the end line. Garner is with him, and he's holding him, and he's trying to get the ball off him, and now Martinelli's gone to ground, clutching his face. And that's a free kick that goes Arsenal's way. And I'm not too sure why, if I'm honest. We're getting a replay now from close up. Trevor?
Well, again, Martinelli's gone to the ground, and it is the hand contact from Garner on Martinelli's face, but it looked like nothing, to be quite honest. It's not like the poke in the eye that Saka got. This was just like his hand brushing Martinelli's face, and he's fallen to the ground in extreme pain, and of course he's back up on his feet now.
It may have been a free kick when he was holding his arm. I'm not sure what it's been given for was actually a free kick, but give it the referee has, and it's a free kick to Arsenal. Around 12 yards on the end line, right on the sideline, left-hand side. Martinelli is over it. Everton defensive line along the 6-yard box. Martinelli's ball flicked on, flicked over, goal kick.
Yeah, no real threat there from Arsenal set piece. Xhaka gets contact at the near post, but it's coming directly at him. You can only have a flick at it. It clears the bar by 2 or 3 metres. So Everton can reorganise and go again for this last few minutes in the first half. Has been a really good first half for Everton. I mean, Arsenal, they're good on the ball, but have not found the final delivery of pass. But Everton, I think, and the Everton fans will be really, really pleased with what they've seen in the first 42 minutes.
Haven't seen their team score a goal. That's rather par for the course for Everton these days. They're not used to seeing them battle as they have done in this game to this point. They've lost 4 successive home league fixtures to this point. Their worst run at this famous old stadium since 1958, when they lost 7 in a row. I'm always surprised when you don't do well at Goodison Park, when this crowd are behind you. It's one of the proper old grounds, as football grounds should be, where the fans are close by and get right on your back and right behind you as well when things are going well, as they are here, as Calvert-Lewin wins it back upfield. Cross is blocked. Martinelli looks to bring it away, challenged by Calvert-Lewin, off Martinelli. Everton throw. As they look to create what would be maybe the final chance of this half. A couple of really good ones for Calvert-Lewin and for Doucouré a few minutes ago. Still 0-0. Tarkowski forward, flicked on by Doucouré. All a bit Sunday League, that picked up by Ramsdale on the end line.
Yeah, but they're not embarrassed to do it when they need to and get the ball forward. They have got Doucouré up there, who's a big lad. Calvert-Lewin obviously with his ability in the air, and sometimes it just needs to go long. It's about doing the right thing at the right time, you know, and Everton kind of got that right today so far.
There's a song in that. Are you doing Italian Nightly? Where's Barnsley? Is he here?
It felt melodic when I was singing.
You should have done that rap. I knew you should have done it. Is there an outtake of you doing it? Must be. We'll come back to it. Here's Zinchenko down the line to Xhaka. End line, early cross, blocked really well by James. No, it's Connor Cody actually with that block. And gets it around the end line. I was going to say Tarkowski. Going to Arsenal over on that far side. We're going to have 3 additional minutes at the end of this half, which we are entering in a couple of moments from now. White into Partey. Partey right to Saka again, who's once again, as Trevor has alluded to, right on that side line, pulled out. And back into Partey via White, bit of space, Zinchenko. On the other side is Granit Xhaka. Then Zinchenko. Miscontrol from him again in the offensive third, and Garner's nicked it back, and Everton want to break here with Iwobi. Away from one, away from two, but forced back towards his defensive line. Coleman with the clip. Calvert-Lewin with the challenge. Arsenal with the win. And the Gunners are back on it again. Rather the story of it, when they have gone long to Calvert-Lewin, who's worked really, really hard today, but not much to show for it.
Yeah, it only works if you get blue shirts around Calvert-Lewin. Otherwise, you're just giving the ball back to Arsenal.
Martinelli running at Coleman, running with Iwobi, running with nowhere to go, and once again, Everton have done well to stop the Arsenal attack. Not something that many teams have done this season. Stopped Arsenal scoring, stopped Arsenal impressing. I think only really from the teams I've seen in the games that I've watched, only Newcastle have handled Arsenal as well as this season.
Yeah, I'm surprised, how well they've been organised, and they're very visible things. Hunting in packs. 2 Everton players always getting through Martinelli or Saka, never given that one opportunity for one-on-ones, and so far it's worked really well.
There might be a certain Mr. Lampard watching this game somewhere, wondering where this effort was over the last few months, and a certain Mr. Silva and a certain... Oh, hold on a second. It's gone back to Pickford here. It's a bouncing ball, and Nketiah has chased him down. Pickford's got it away. The referee has given a free kick against Eddie Nketiah, who was chasing him down. I think some risk there of that being somewhat dangerous from Eddie Nketiah.
It was a poor ball back, though, wasn't it, from Seamus Coleman? When it came off his left foot, he apologised literally immediately to Pickford, put his hand in the air because he just lofted it and floated it back. And Nketiah can't get there quickly enough, but Pickford, he dallied and got away with it.
I think it's a bit silly that's given us a free kick now. And Nketiah on the replay is nowhere near Jordan Pickford, who's got the ball away. He was given us a free kick, and now Everton are coming forward. Coleman's delivery chance! Oh, Calvert-Lewin! Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a lovely glancing header from near post to far. Pickford, Ramsdale was beaten, but it hasn't gone in.
Everton fans love to see that. A ball coming in from wide positions. Calvert-Lewin gets his head on it, but again, 3 or 4 times we've seen Everton players head the ball and not get good enough contact on it. But I've really got the fans excited there. Coleman, great ball in, and Calvert-Lewin just couldn't do enough with the header.
A lovely shot of Sean Dyche there as that chance was going towards goal. He was off getting a drink of water. I think he was expecting to give his half-time team talk before another chance came, and just ran back to the sideline to see it drift just wide. And that is the half-time whistle, and Trevor Stephen, listen to that ovation for the Everton players at Goodison Park from the Everton fans. Not heard that for a while.
Absolutely not. They've been really boosted by that 45, 47 minutes or whatever it was, because it's been 100% effort, great organisation, playing against a really good side in Arsenal. We know that, and they've limited them to very few opportunities. Best opportunities of the first half have been Everton's.
Half-time, Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Further analysis to come. Stay with us. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Previously on White and Jordan.
Well, we didn't budget for this money. Surely we want to give it to our lesser cousins.
Yes.
And the moon's made of cheese, right?
Clash of the Simon.
The modern day fairy tale today in English football almost inevitably involves money.
There's no such thing as a no-score draw.
But this will be an exercise in goodwill. Something that the Premier League is bereft of.
How biased is Trevor? Sort it out. Seriously, sort it out.
White and Jordan.
The nation's primary destination for a triple distilled opinion and blistering debate.
Weekday mornings from 10 on the world-famous Talk Sport.
Times Radio.
I'm Mariella Frostrup. Join me as I talk to renowned guests about the worlds of culture, lifestyle and entertainment.
Including Sir Michael Palin.
Python's always been, I think, a nice mix. It's about human behaviour and what we do and how we sort of mess ourselves up.
And Werner Herzog.
When you look at family romance, it's a deeply humanistic film. It is a very essential of my films.
From auteurs to icons, artists to activists, join me, Mariella Frostrup, for the radio show dedicated to exploring the ideas that shape our times.
Mariella Frostrup.
Monday to Thursday afternoons from 1.
On Times Radio.
Stories of our times from the Times.
The finish nowhere near good enough.
Just snatched at it, him and his open goal, just while Pickford standing there in his 6-yard box. You had to keep that down and go across the goalkeeper. He slashed at it, ends up in the Gladys Street end.
Poor ball wide, Onana's nicked it back. Odegaard isn't going to catch him. Onana's in the box here! Right across the 6-yard box of Onana. Calvert-Lewin couldn't turn it home. And that's a brilliant chance for Everton, which they've not taken.
Calvert-Lewin has literally got faintest of touches to it. It goes wide, just comes off the studs, can't get a full contact. Otherwise it was a goal.
Tchaikovsky, right-footed, upfield, towards Calvert-Lewin, who flicks on well. He'll find McNeil, left-footed cross, McNeil, chance! Doucouré's header, it's a glancer, and he glances well wide.
Well, Sean Dyche applauds his players because they've been really good. But he has to score.
It's a bit silly, that's given us a free kick now. And Getty on the replay is nowhere near Jordan Pickford, who's got the ball away. Was given us a free kick, and now Everton are coming forward. Coleman's delivery, chance! Oh, Calvert-Lewin! Dominant Calvert-Lewin with a lovely glancing header from near post to far. Pickford, Ramsdale was beaten, but it hasn't gone in.
Yeah, Everton fans love to see that. A ball coming in from wide positions. Calvert-Lewin gets his head on it, but again, 3 or 4 times we've seen Everton players head the ball and not get good enough contact on it.
Yeah, 0-0 at half-time between Everton and Arsenal, but plenty to talk about. Trevor Stephen alongside me, Tom Rennie. And we've spoken about it a few times now, Trevor, in commentary, but Everton, I mean, it's what we expected. Plenty of energy, plenty of alertness, plenty of Dyche-ness. Have you been impressed?
It's been more than I expected, to be honest. That different attitude, far more aggressive, far more organised. If you look at the last few games under Frank Lampard, I thought Cody and Tarkowski looked really tired and a little bit all over the place, to be quite honest. And they've looked really solid today. I think Mikalenko has all season been fouling players in bad positions. Today he's got a player like Saka, great quality footballer, and he's done really well against them. So all round, really, really good from Everton.
In terms of scoring a goal, though, I mean, that's the big story, right? That's been the story of Everton all season long. How are they going to score a goal today?
Well, they've created chances. I think they've had possibly 3 clear headers but they could have scored from, and didn't take the chances. And if you don't do that, you'll eventually come a cropper, and Everton have not created chances like they have today earlier in the season. So that's a positive. Now they need to be more clinical and start putting them in the back of the net.
Away from home, Arsenal have rather swatted teams aside this season. They've won 8 of their 10 away matches in the league this season, 1 defeat at Old Trafford and a draw in the other. Today, though, it's not really happened so far. They've not got going. Why not?
Well, you happen to let Arsenal get ahead in a game because they'll dictate it from there on in. And when you do go behind, you start to get your game spread a little. And, of course, they love space, Arsenal do. So the job that Dyche put out for his team today was to stop them from creating chances. But Arsenal in that last third have not created, have they?
No.
The defending been great in the wide positions, been very, very congested in the midfield area, and Arsenal as yet have not found a way of breaking that down.
Bit of new energy, Trossard, someone like that?
I think that's a great sign in Trossard. I really liked him at Brighton. International footballer with zip and pace, and he's a danger wherever he gets onto the field, because he's got that. It reminds me a bit of Jota, someone who is not obviously effective but is effective.
Yeah.
And the longer he stays on the bench, as far as Everton are concerned, the better.
Half time, Everton 0, Arsenal 0 on Premier League Live. Elsewhere today, our next feature game is Wolves against Liverpool. We'll also have goals as they go in the game between Man United and Crystal Palace. That's available to our online and digital partners. Check your local listings if one of our partners is carrying that one. Interesting week for Manchester United. They lost Christian Eriksen until April at the earliest, we are told. Marcel Sabitzer has come in from Bayern to replace him. Let's get the thoughts of Erik ten Hag on that.
I think football has to set limits, restrictions, that you protect the players. I think what football wants is the best players be available on the pitch. And this is a tackle, and the 2 tackles after, they don't belong on the football pitch. Because it's a highly risk to injure your colleague. So I think it's worse. And so I'm wondering about that. But for instance, I'm wondering more when we in Crystal Palace, when there's an elbow on Martinez, and the kick for a free. I don't even know if it was a whistle for a free kick, but no one is interfering then. I'm wondering about such things because it's a risk of injury for the player.
Yeah, it was a terrible tackle from Andy Carroll in the FA Cup game, which has cost Eriksen the next few months of his season. A few Newcastle fans calling him Agent Carroll moving forward in that race for the Champions League spots. I don't think so. I think he's just an old clogger, and that's Andy Carroll for you. But it's a big loss for Manchester United.
Yeah, again, Eriksen, he's superseded anything that I thought he would be able to do at Manchester United. I love the way that he controls the pace of the game. He can slow it down, he can quicken it up. He's got a full range of passing, and is very key with Casemiro in that midfield. But I do like Sabitzer. I really like him. He's always impressed me when I've watched him, particularly for in an Austrian shirt. Doesn't play that often with Bayern Munich, but he's quality, and I think he's got the mentality to go into Manchester United and do well.
Great shot on him as well. If you look at his goals reel, it's absolutely sublime. Marcel Sabitzer. Final question before we go back to the second half. Crystal Palace, the team they faced today. Sean Derry, our colleague here at Premier League Live, has just left as first team coach. Not in the best of forms, only 24 points. Look, it's only about 10 or 12 away from safety with half a season to go, so they'll probably be okay, but a few concerns there about Vieira having a second season syndrome, as he has at the last 2 clubs he's managed.
Well, if you've got a limited squad, which I think you'd have to say Crystal Palace is they've got some really good creative players within their group, but they do look a bit flat from time to time. You're not quite sure what you're going to get as a performance. So we'll have to see what Patrick Vieira can get out of this group of players, but they are sometimes really good to watch, and other times they look like they're relegation material.
Yeah.
So it's a big fight. It's a very important stage of the season, this, and it can go one way or the other. So these next few games for Palace are vital.
Wilfried Zaha out for a few weeks as well with, I think it's a hamstring issue, so concerns for Palace. Less today, at least, for Everton, who are certainly competing against Arsenal. No goals so far. Second half to come. Stay with us. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talk Sport Hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
An improvement week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talk Sport Hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Previously on White and Jordan.
People are going to turn around and say this is all saccharine and sentiment.
I know about sentiment. What's saccharin?
Saccharin is a sweet way of looking at the world.
I thought it was a soluble aspirin.
Comments, conflict and confrontation.
By God, it was eventful to say the least of it.
You look at this and say, some celebrations are better than others.
Lewin twice and Decore for Arsenal, and Nketiah going close, but that's about it for the league leaders at this point. Players just emerging for the second half. No changes, it would seem, for either team. So here's the Everton lineup. Jordan Pickford in goal. Back four, Vitaly Mikalenko, James Degosky, Conor Cody and Seamus Coleman. Midfield, Dwight McNeil, Idrissa Gana, Amadou Onana, Alex Iwobi, Abdoulaye Doucouré in a number 10-ish role with Dominic Calvert-Lewin the striker. Benches, Asmir Begovic, Mason Holgate, Damari Gray, Yerry Mina, Neil Mope, Ben Godfrey, Tom Davis, Ruben Vinagre and Ellis Sims. Arsenal, Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Back four, left to right, Alexander Zinchenko, Gabriel, William Saliba and Ben White. Midfield is Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka and Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Eddie Nketiah and Gabriel Martinelli. The front three, the Arsenal players have just had a bit of a huddle in the centre circle pre the second half, which maybe shows you a bit about how they feel their first half performance went. On the bench, it's Matt Turner, Kieran Tierney, Jakob Kivior, Rob Holding, Takehiro Tomiyasu, Leandro Trossard, Jorginho, Fabio Vieira, and Mario Kozia-Dewberry. David Coote is our referee, Andrew Maddy, fourth official, John Brooks is the VAR. Trevor Stephen, a huddle to start the second half.
Yeah, I saw that. It's, I don't know if they do that every game. I suppose that they do. It's just something I've not really noticed. But yeah, the Arsenal players got together on the halfway line there, and a few pumped fists. And I think Arsenal would expect better from themselves for the second half. I mean, they were fine, but not that cutting edge that we're used to seeing. And Everton need to do the same again. Need to repeat, but be more clinical. Take the chances. Take the chance when it comes.
Everton get us underway, and they have it in the offensive right area, with Iwobi trying a bit of skill to get away from pressure from his former club Arsenal. Martinelli tries to dribble his way out of trouble and does quite well to get away from three, but in the end the pass towards Nketiah was a bit overhit, and Everton have a throw on the right hand side. Everton blue shirts, white shorts and white socks. They kick from left to right as we look in this second period towards the famous Gladys Street end. Arsenal the other way, right to left at the end where their fans are, with red shirts, white sleeves, white shorts and red socks. One back here by Zinchenko in the left back area, clears it long into midfield where Adrissagana can pick it up for Everton. On to Calvert-Lewin, bit of space. Ball rolls across his body, cross is blocked by Gabriel. Iwobi's ball is better. Chance here for Doucouré, he brings it down. Can he get a shot away? Players around him, no he can't. Calvert-Lewin, and Adrissagana does. Deflected, saved by Ramsdale, who was able to turn as the ball was spinning towards goal. Offside flag has gone up a bit inexplicably here, so Calvert-Lewin can't continue that attack. But once again, it's a decent chance going the way of the home team.
What's clear to see is that Everton are managing to get blue shirts into the box, and lots of them. Ball eventually does come out to Idrissa Gueye. Makes great contact with it, but it's deflected, and Ramsdale has to adjust. It's one that you expect him to save, despite the deflection. Wasn't enough power in the shot, but really good positive start for Everton.
Ramsdale making the save. The goal would not have counted. We watched a replay there on our monitors while Trevor was giving that analysis, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin was offside as the ball was played into him before he set up the man who had the shot, so the goal would not have counted if it went in. Another let-off for Arsenal as the away side again just struggled to get a foothold in this game when Everton go quickly for the jugular. Ball is with Gabriel, the Arsenal centre-half. To his left is Martinelli, who once again pulls out well wide on the left-hand side, as Saka has on the right. Partey now will try and find him. It was a bit of a mishit pass, but he has found Bukayo Saka on the right wing. McNeil into Zinchenko. Lovely return pass to Bukayo Saka on the right. Takes on Mikalenko, who's had the beating of him today. Mikalenko gets the ball away well. Throw in far side Arsenal.
Yeah, Saka playing on that right-hand side, you know generally that he's going to try and bring the ball infield onto his left foot, and Mikalenko's got the better of that situation at the moment.
Ben White on the halfway line finds a pass back towards Saliba. Wants to try and find a ball in between the gap to Gabriel, which he does. And then Thomas Partey in between them now on the ball with two Everton players around him. Calvert-Lewin and Doucouré pressing. And now Zinchenko will find a pass left to where we'd expect him to be. He's over sort of dictating play on the right-hand side at the moment, Zinchenko. Here he is again, left to Martinelli. It's a pass back now to Gabriel. Arsenal having a period of possession, slow possession, but controlled possession from the league leaders, who come into this game 5 clear at the top. Saka away from Mikalenko. Mikalenko swung it back again. Saka wants a foul from Mikalenko. Pulled shirt. Referee's not going to give it, and Arsenal are pressing high with White up against McNeil. The referee has given a goal kick here. Ben White thought it came off Dwight McNeil last, who was running into trouble there, the Everton winger, with nowhere to go.
Yeah, he didn't sense the danger there, did he? Ben White was right behind him. And
it's a clear corner, by the way. We're watching the replay now.
It's a clear corner, and McNeil knew that. You can see on the expression immediately that ball crossed the line. The referee has not given it, but McNeil just showed hesitancy there, and Arsenal will pounce on that.
Quite the let-off there for Everton and Dwight McNeil. It's 0-0. We're at 50 minutes, 5 going in the second half. And you are listening to Premier League Live. Calvert-Lewin there has run into Granit Xhaka from the high boot before Partey heads away. Referee's given a free kick against Calvert-Lewin for that off-the-ball moment. Seems about fair enough. He's charged into Xhaka's back, trying to bounce him out the way. Arsenal on the ball with Martinelli. Zinchenko round the corner, blocked by Adrisagana, who can drive forward here for Everton. Right to Doucouré. Doucouré into Onana. Down the line to Adrisagana, runs into space, but he hasn't got the pace to get there before Gabriel. Zinchenko into Granit Xhaka. Back to Ramsdale on his goal line. Ramsdale controls and passes right to Ben White, who will look to carry Arsenal up over the halfway line. McNeil is with him. Good touch into Saka. Helped on now to Granit Xhaka. First time to Ødegaard. Further on to Martinelli. Better from Arsenal in the Everton penalty area. Touch back to Granit Xhaka, who shoots. Blocked by Cody. Cleared away then by Coleman. Onana has stayed down in the box. The referee has stopped it here for Onana going down holding his leg. It's not a head injury, so that's frustration for Arsenal. Onana stays down. I'm not quite sure what happened to him, truth be told.
No, I'm not sure myself. There's a lot of bodies in there, and that's what it was. It was Ødegaard stepping on his foot. So there's no question that it's a foul.
Well, I'm not sure it's been given as a foul, I think he's just stopped the game, having not seen it.
I think the referee didn't see it, you're right.
It does look like a foul, though, as you say, on the replay. So justice done a little bit there, at least, with Arsenal no longer on the front foot attacking.
Yeah, they just started to open up there, Arsenal, didn't they? They started to move the ball nicely and won a couple of challenges in midfield, which Everton were doing in the first half. So the home team need to be aware of that. They've got to approach this second half like they did the first, win the majority of battles in the midfield area.
Referee gives the ball back to Zinchenko. We don't do like drop balls anymore where you contest it. The rules changed the back end of last season. A real shame that. He used to love getting at the shins of the opponent during the drop ball, as Wayne Rooney used to do quite famously. But it is just a referee decides who he's going to give the ball back to these days, which is a bit more civilised, I suppose. Arsenal coming forward, left-hand side. Martinelli, 10 yards over the halfway and driving forward. Onto Xhaka, wasn't quite ready for it, but he has crossed it in deep towards Saka. McNeil away. Once then twice, up towards the halfway line, where Calvert-Lewin will beat Saliba to this. Saliba lost it, and Calvert-Lewin is now running goal-bound, wants the teammate to pass to. It's heavy to Iwobi, but he will keep this in. Alex Iwobi, by the corner flag right-hand side. Alex Iwobi, bit of space. Cross comes in, it's low, it's flat, it's poor, and Partey will clear to Martinelli. Xhaka upfield into nowhere in particular, and Mikalenko will head it on to Dwight McNeil. Make no mistake about it, the league leaders are rattled here by Everton. Cross comes in, deep ball, no one there in a blue shirt. Zinchenko there in a red, and he chests it back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, good communication there between Ramsdale and Zinchenko. No one in there at that far post when the ball came in for Everton. And as you say, just chests it back very calmly to Ramsdale. But yeah, a good break there from Everton. Poor ball in though from Iwobi. We've said it from the start of this game, and it's all about who has that best pass, that best assist in the last third.
Good play from Saka over on the far side once again. Mikalenko sticks to him like glue. Mikalenko goes to ground, blocks the cross on the end line. This time a corner is given when it looks a bit like a goal kick. But there we are. It has been given. It's a corner to Arsenal. Haven't seen any forensic replays of it to prove it either way, given by the assistant referee, who's certainly closer than us. 54 minutes gone, 0-0. Corner Arsenal, taken into Saka. From Ødegaard, Saka's drive blocks, and Kettia's shot blocks. And it's a long way up towards the halfway line from that Everton clearance. White forward, Doucouré for company. Away by Tarkowski's head. White then forward again. Brought down by Martinelli and Xhaka. Formations then regroup after that corner. And they keep throwing bodies in the way, Everton.
Yeah, they do. And they don't want to be playing that kind of game, but Arsenal starting to turn the pace of the game up.
Good play, Martinelli evades a challenge and finds a pass. Saka in the box. Martinelli wants it back. Here he is now. Cleared away from Coleman. Cross was clipped towards the back post, brought down by White, then Martinelli, Ødegaard to Saka, better from Arsenal, Bukayo Saka, Martin Ødegaard, chip to Saka, in the area, crosses from the end line, in fact over the end line, and it's a goal kick for Everton.
Yeah, you can sense it's coming from Arsenal now, can't you? Everton just a little bit ragged, and that's down to the good play, good quality possession from Arsenal. And you're right, Everton have got themselves in the way of anything goalward from Arsenal. Tarkowski that time clears.
Plenty of commitment from Everton. Arsenal do need to do more, and I think Mikel Arteta is saying that to his team right now. On the verge of 14 league games unbeaten for the first time in 5 years. 50 points at the halfway stage of a Premier League season, their best ever in this division. So they're big favourites for a reason, they're title favourites for a reason, but at the moment can't break down the team sitting 19th in the Premier League table, who have lost 4 in a row at home. Funny old game. Saka around the corner, tries to find Nketiah, cleared by Cody. It's hit Nketiah, who's going to get there just before Cody, who recovered at the last to knock it back to Pickford before Nketiah, through a series of calamities, nearly got in.
Yeah, just Cody had poor clearance header, heads it against an Arsenal player, and he causes his own problems there.
Here is James Tarkowski. Into Onana, then Garner in the centre circle for Everton. 25% possession across the game for the Toffees, even less in the second half, 19% possession as we get to 11 and a bit minutes played in the second period. Not that it means a great deal, but it is illustrative of the tactics, at least, that Everton are trying to employ as they flick it up towards Calvert-Lewin, back to Takura, edge of the area, releasing the ball right to Iwobi. Cross comes in, away from Gabriel's head, chance for Mikalenko, who swipes at it like a first-year amateur, and it's into the Gladys Street end.
Yeah, again, just a wrong choice. Iwobi puts a decent ball in, not a great the balls, but when it comes to Mikalenko, shows a little bit of immaturity about his play there, having a swing at it from 35 yards out. Real misconnect.
Did score a terrific goal last season for Everton. It was their goal of the season, that volley in the 2-1 win against Leicester in May, that crucial victory they had. So he can do it, Mikalenko, but not that time. Arsenal win the ball back in Everton territory here with Zinchenko, looks to slip in Ødegaard, well read by Onana and Garner, and Everton are able to work it away in a tight area. Lovely little back heel flick there from Onana to release Takura, and Everton are suddenly over the halfway line with Iwobi. Iwobi running infield, where's the pass into Calvert-Lewin, helps it on to Onana, who wasn't quite alert to Calvert-Lewin's creativity. Onana keeps it on, sideline left-hand side. It's into Mikalenko, then Garner, then Iwobi. Beaten to it by Nketiah and Ødegaard, and Arsenal can break here with Everton out of shape. Martinelli driving forward, beating Iwobi, beating Garner, surely fouled by Garner. Referee allows play to continue as Eddie Nketiah has it. Still they go, great play Nketiah. Chance here for Martin Ødegaard, who skies it over the crossbar from about 12 yards out.
Yeah, good play from Arsenal all over the field there. They moved it well, ended up with Nketiah doing some great work, cutting into the box on the left-hand side and pulls it back to Ødegaard, who can only slash at the ball, gets underneath it, clears the bar. But these chances are starting to happen more frequently now for Arsenal as the game just gets that little bit spread.
A change here for Arsenal. And Thomas Partey is being withdrawn. He was a doubt for this game, to be replaced by Jorginho, brought in from Chelsea during transfer deadline day. Also Gabriel Martinelli being withdrawn for another January signing of Brighton before moving here. Leandro Trossard coming on. So 2 new boys on the field for Arsenal.
Yeah, and that was just as Arsenal getting the momentum in the game as well. A bit of a strange timing, I would have said, from Mikel Arteta.
Who?
Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta.
In these parts we call you Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the timing of that. I find that a little bit bizarre, but he is the manager. Do what he wants, can't he?
2 players to bring on, something he didn't really have in the first half of the season, as Iwobi drives Everton towards the end line right-hand side. He wants a corner. I think it's going to be a goal kick, this. Well, it's been given as a corner, actually. It was across the hip, Xhaka. Thought he came back off Iwobi on the end line. Assistant referee, once again, significantly closer than us, and he's given the corner Everton's way.
Yeah, I would have to say that was fairly fortunate from Alex Iwobi there. I think he actually believed it was a goal kick as well.
And it's a corner on 60 minutes, which will be taken by Dwight McNeil, playing under Sean Dyche for the second time. Left footed cross, deep delivery again. Chance! And there's the opening goal of the Sean Dyche era, and it's Burnley to Burnley, McNeil to Tarkowski, and Everton take the lead against the league leaders.
We saw exactly that corner kick in the first half from right and left, just overhead to the back post. Normally you see balls driven in these days, fairly low and fairly near to that near post, but again, the long ball to far post, and Tarkowski, that physical strength that he has, he's almost stooping when he heads that ball, but it's exactly what Everton needed. The home fans are loving it, and you can't say that Everton deserve to be 1-0 up in the game, but they've created the better chances.
6 seasons at centre-half for Sean Dyche at Burnley, and 60 minutes for him here, and he's on the score sheet for the first time in the Premier League in an Everton shirt.
Yeah, it's that physicality, isn't it, Tom, that Tarkowski's got against Odegaard at the back post. Can't miss really from there.
And Everton lead at a ground where they've lost 4 in a row in a match against a team top of the Premier League table. And we mentioned it earlier on, he's been in charge for a week. What have they been working on? It's not rondos, it's not first time football, it's corners, it's pressing, it's the beat test, and it's led to a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, it is what it is, you know, and that's what he does. Sean Dyche, he's brought Mopé on for Calvert-Lewin, so we're taking the opportunity to put some fresh legs on up there. Calvert-Lewin's not up to match fitness really as yet.
Yeah, good performance though from Dominic Calvert-Lewin as the battering ram. Neal Mopé, who scored the winner here against West Ham earlier in the season, is on. And Arsenal have got real work to do here. They are trailing 1-0 at Goodison Park, and they're not playing too great at this moment in time. Big half an hour in the season. Man City playing tomorrow against Tottenham. If they lose here, Arsenal, and City win tomorrow, the gap will be 2 points with just under half the season to go.
Yeah, a lot of other teams will be looking at this result up the top end of the table particularly, and the bottom end, and Mikel Arteta might be querying that decision to give that corner kick to Everton when it looked like Iwobi had the last touch.
Jorginho is on. He's given the ball away here in central midfield to the hard-working trio of Onana, Garner and Doucouré, who bossed the game today in central midfield. It's been given away here to Bukayo Saka, who's beaten 2. Mikalenko getting back at him here, and that's a deserved yellow card here for Vitaly Mikalenko, as Saka looked to get away, just swipes the legs away and becomes the first man booked today.
Yeah, Dwight McNeil almost pulled him down, tried to stop the break, but Mikalenko quite obviously clips the heels of Saka. The referee's got no other choice than to give him the yellow card.
Leandro Trossard on for Gabriel Martinelli. Gabriel now. And Trossard on the far side. What have Arsenal got in the locker? Can they break down this stubborn Everton defence? Trailing as they are by 1-0. They won a corner on the attacking left-hand side with Trossard running it. The veteran Seamus Coleman, who got the block on it.
Still a long way to go in the game, Tom. 30 minutes roughly. So Everton can't be thinking about just protecting this 1-0, because that's not how they've got themselves to this stage of the game. They've got to keep doing what they have been doing. Arsenal are going to open up a little bit more, and that might play into the hands of Everton.
It's a corner to be taken by Martin Odegaard in front of the Arsenal fans sitting in that corner. Trossard's delivery towards the near post is woeful. It hits Mikalenko, recovered by Zinchenko. Who has to hook it back towards Ramsdale in the centre circle. Waste there for Arsenal. Ramsdale's diagonal ball. Tries to find Saliba, headed into Saka, then Odegaard, then Saka, then Nketiah, then Odegaard in the penalty area. Then Nketiah tries to turn, can't get the shot away. Hassled out of it Arsenal player goes down in the box here, and there's a question that Arsenal are asking. Garner's also down. It looked to me that there's two players running into each other. One is Gabriel, one is Garner. It's the Everton man that stayed down. Mopé's in there as well. I'm not too sure what's happened there. We're watching the replay, and I think it's probably a foul from Gabriel on Garner, isn't it? Falling into him?
It is. But
what about Mopé?
There's that body contact from Mopé as well on Gabriel, which all happened literally in half a second, less than that. And the referee has to make a decision. But to me, it does look like Garner has had the foul committed on him by Gabriel.
Well, the referee hasn't given a penalty here. I'm not sure he gave a free kick either, I don't think, for that initial piece of play. He's having a conversation with VAR, the referee, but I think he's seen it. I'm not sure there's any sort of clear and obvious error there. And there won't be any further viewing of that from the referee on field. And it's actually a free kick given away of Everton in the penalty area. It was given for Gabriel falling into Garner, so it's a free kick Everton's way. There we go. Pickford long towards Mopé. One in the air by Saliba, then hooked upfield by Jorginho. In fact, into touch by Jorginho.
Well, Everton have got Mopé on up there. There's obviously fresh legs that Everton need, but Everton don't have that central target now that Calvert-Lewin brings to the team. I'm just going to see how they hold the ball up in that last third.
Throwing down the line, cleared away. Garner picks it up. McNeil will drive down the line here, away from Jorginho and White. Got the pace on both of them. Dwight McNeil wants a corner. Trying to cross it against an Arsenal leg. Couldn't do so. Picked up by Ramsdale, who goes long to Trossard, who's not got the pace of Martinelli, but he's up against Coleman, so he probably could get there, but Coleman too wily and well positioned. Wins it back for Everton. Good win there by Martin Ødegaard. Gets there before Idrissa Garner, and Ødegaard's in the penalty area, but he can't get away from Cody, who makes a really good challenge. Breaks here to Xhaka, who clips it to Bukayo Saka in the penalty area right hand side. Saka brings it down, cross comes in, caught by Pickford, who will then take his time to allow his teammates to have a breather.
Yeah, one or two errors creeping in on both sides. A loose ball from Iwobi, and Ødegaard reads it. The ball doesn't reach Garner, and he attacks into the central part of the Everton defence. Nothing comes of it. Really good tackle, I have to say, by Connor Cody.
Pickford's long clearance. No Calvert-Lewin now, so I don't expect them to win too many of these with Neal Mopé up front. Here's Iwobi, lovely touch, flicks on to Neal Mopé. Zinchenko will get there under some pressure. Recovered by Mopé, back to Garner. Right to Iwobi. Iwobi finds Coleman, right hand side. Arsenal a bit ragged here. The changes that Arteta has made, which Trevor Steven questioned at the time, have not quite helped them, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not been a good 10 minutes, has it, for Arsenal? And they were looking strong just before those substitutions were made.
Big clearance from Everton, won by Saliba. His clearance goes to Onana, whose through ball is intercepted by Saliba. And Arsenal work it up towards Nketiah, but Tarkowski will nip in ahead of him to knock it out on the sideline for an Arsenal throw. Everton winning 1-0 for those just joining us. James Tarkowski with a header from the corner, as set up by Dwight McNeil, as now managed by Sean Dyche. I wonder how Burnley fans feel about that.
Yeah, there were question marks over Sean Dyche being appropriate as an appointment for the manager's role.
Well, that's not a great challenge here from Onana over on that far side. Ben White has gone down here. The referee's not happy with it at all when he's walking over to Onana. And it is a yellow card going to go to the Everton man for that challenge. I think Saliba and Xhaka are asking for a little bit more there. We're going to watch a replay of it here on White. It's not a great challenge, it's a bit scissory, but it is a yellow, not a red.
He's got to be careful, those Everton players, midfielders, just getting into rash challenges. I think in the first half they stayed on their feet well.
And now Neal Mopé and Xhaka, the two narkiest players maybe in the Premier League, getting into each other's faces. Does this help Everton at all? I don't know.
I don't know what happened or sparked that, but Xhaka and Mopé have been spoken to by the referee.
I think their general personalities sparked that.
I think so.
Just being who they are. We are going to be back underway shortly. No long-term damage to the Arsenal man. And Mopé and Xhaka walk away to argue another day. Or later today, I imagine. Arsenal fans, how are you feeling? 20 minutes to go, trailing by a goal to nil. Here's Martin Ødegaard, who's been terrific this season. Looks out left to Trossard. Couple of step overs, Trossard. Can he get a cross in? He can. It's blocked by Coleman on the end line for another corner, which goes Arsenal's way.
Yeah, Everton have done that well, stopping crosses coming in. It's one of the key elements that any good team defensively stop the crosses, and they've done it well.
Trossard will deliver this ball in. His last corner was woeful. This one's toward the near post again. I was going to say just as bad, but the worst one, the first one really was terrible. Onana clears it away on the end line, right hand side. Arsenal throw. Zinchenko into Jorginho, and then to Xhaka. Doucouré with the first block, breaks here to Jorginho. Ricochets to his fellow new signing Trossard on the end line, tries to beat Iwobi to it. It's got to be an Arsenal ball from Iwobi's challenge. Hit Trossard, but then back off Iwobi again, I thought. Referee's given it that way. Well, they won't be too used to this season, Arsenal. Struggling in a away game where they've won all but 2 of their matches on the road. Jorginho might be a bit more used to it, the way Chelsea have been this season. And it has rather gone a bit sideways for Arsenal since before the goal, but certainly since it. Creating, looking a bit flat as this comes in from Trossard, away by Tarkowski. Mopé looks to get away from Gabriel, he can't do so. Good pressure here from Doucouré. A rather desperate lunging swipe from Gabriel prevented Doucouré from running into the space in behind. Well, take some risks now, Arsenal, you know. They're chasing the game.
Yeah, and Everton are still getting in the faces of Arsenal. They're not giving them any time in the midfield to pick the passes.
On the far side is Bukayo Saka, who's beaten Mykolenko with a nutmeg, but not the sliding recovery challenge of Onana. Both players on yellow cards, had to get that right, and they did. Patricia Garner, pressure from Xhaka. McNeil, pressure from Ødegaard. One back by Ben White. They've not been great at that today, Arsenal, you know, compared to Everton, pressing the ball and winning it back high. So they've done well there, but immediately they pass it into touch. If I was an Everton fan, I feel reasonably comfortable here.
It's a bit early to be thinking in that sort of vein, but it's been very good. It's been far better than I anticipated. And Sean Dyche, without a doubt, has made an impact on these players.
Throwing down the line, turned forward by Arsenal. Ball bounces all the way through to Jordan Pickford, who hasn't had much to do today in the Everton goal. Throw out to Coleman over the halfway line, onto Iwobi. Then Doucouré, and then back towards Connor Cody. Doucouré finds Garner. Arsenal trying to press, but they're looking a bit ragged here, Arsenal, you've got to say. Xhaka trying to make things happen. Back to Pickford, cleared long. Good ball in the end to Iwobi, has brought it down well on the sideline. Back to Connor Cody again as Arsenal press high. Xhaka for company. Cody's got to be careful, and he's not been careful. But it's broken here to Ødegaard. Nowhere to go infield, so it's back out to Trossard. Xhaka wants it left. Here he is now. Granit Xhaka. Cross comes in far too close to Jordan Pickford, who makes a good gather.
Yeah, Everton don't want to be losing the ball in those kind of positions. They've gone a bit negative and they're playing the ball back towards Jordan Pickford. Cody ends up with the ball. He gives the ball away. It's far better for Everton to be losing the ball in the Arsenal last third. And without Calvert-Lewin there, they don't really have that option to get the ball forward.
Well, it was Sean Dyche who said it when he was Burnley manager of Everton. They don't know how to win a game, lads. Maybe we're seeing that a little bit here from Everton. Now they are leading. Second goal would change all that. They're trying to get it now as Mopé goes down. No free kick given there. Everton still got it. Mopé has stayed down. McNeil is coming forward, takes White on the outside and beats him. Wants to win a corner for his team, and that is exactly what he's done. as the Burnley tactics once again pay off for Sean Dyche.
Yeah, Mopey's gone down with it, what he would consider is contact to the head, but the referee says play on, and Everton do get a corner from that. Normally the game would just be stopped with that. So
yeah, and you should as well. A head injury, you stop the game.
Yeah, I mean, Everton won't be complaining because they ended up with the corner, but by the strictest rules of the law, the game should have been stopped.
Call me old-fashioned, but I think protecting people's brains is a bit more important than a football game. But there you go, that's just me. Delivery comes in towards the back post again. Chance again for Everton. Scramble on the end line. Chance maybe for Everton again. Mopey's volley. Oh, it's over the top. Whistle's gone for something in there. Could be an offside. It's right on the goal line. It's right on the end line. It's so close. There's Everton players everywhere. I couldn't see the ball. And they've somehow scrambled that away, Arsenal, who are in real trouble here.
Yeah, they are. As that ball comes into the 6-yard box from the corner kick on the left-hand side, there's just a massive bodies in the 6-yard box. As you say, couldn't really see the ball, but it looked like an Everton boot might put that ball away for the second goal.
Well, if they get a second goal, you've got to say that is that. Arsenal have not looked like scoring very much today, and now they're struggling to get over the halfway line with Jorginho and Ødegaard combining. Alexander Zinchenko, multiple title winner in Manchester City, left to Granit Xhaka. Still buzzing around everywhere for Arsenal, trying to make something happen. Left to Trossard. Under pressure, Trossard is tackled by Decore. He's not been good since coming on, Trossard. He struggled to replace the energy of Martinelli, who went off. Here's Jorginho now. Forward to Martin Ødegaard, if it's going to happen. It's likely to be through him, but he's lost the ball here. And Iwobi's running towards the penalty area. Running at Gabriel, shooting as well. And he wants a corner. Oh, and he's not going to get one. It hits the corner flag and goes out for a throw.
But good stuff from Iwobi, attacking the space. But again, Everton win the ball back in midfield. And that midfield trio of Onana, of Ghana, and of who else was in there?
Decore.
Yep. Fabulous. That engine room has been beating away all game. And Arsenal not really been able to cope with it.
Arsenal making a change here. Martin Ødegaard's going off. Fabio Vieira is coming on to replace him. Not someone we've seen a great deal in the Premier League this season. The game against Brentford was his only start, if memory serves. He scored in that game. Ødegaard withdrawn.
Yeah, he's been in and out of the game, but you can say that about any of the Arsenal players. But he just got robbed of the ball in midfield there, and I wonder if that was something to do with it. Maybe not.
Throw-in taken by Coleman into Iwobi, back to Coleman. Alex Iwobi, right sideline. Chipped in field now, on by Mikalenko, to no one in particular. Jorginho, Vieira, and Nketiah, Xhaka combining to bring Arsenal forward, but not particularly far. Saliba down the line, Ben White onto Bukayo Saka. Who chips it cross field. Really good football here from Arsenal to get up towards the penalty area, left-hand side. Trossard takes a shot here, deflected, saved by Pickford. Chance then for Jorginho to turn the ball towards goal. Couldn't do so, beaten to it by Decore, and now Everton are breaking away. Decore finds Mopey. Held up by Saliba, and they keep the ball here with Onana, who leaves it now for James Dukoski. Everton happy to keep possession there, as Arsenal have what might have been their first shot on target of the second half.
Yeah, Trossard breaking in from the left-hand side on his right foot. Not sure if it was deflected or the ball was just swerving as it was really fired in with great pace at Pickford.
Bit of work for Jordan Pickford to do for really the first notable time for me in this match. It's a pretty pure shot by the look of the replay, but spinning and swirling. But it was quite close to Pickford, who dealt with it well.
And again, Everton are sharp enough to look for that second ball, look for the goalkeeper's parry and get it away. That's something that they could have been accused of earlier in the season, of not adapting and not being quick enough to react to things.
Granit Xhaka down the line, up against Ghana, crossing here. Chance for Saka, maybe brings it down at the back post. Gets the shot at goal, it's over the crossbar. Neil was a bit reckless with his attempted block as Saka took the shot. He will get away with that.
Yeah, half a chance really there for Saka. He brought the ball down, but it was onto his right foot, the weaker foot, and had to hurry the shot away.
Well, they're getting some moments here now, Arsenal, all of a sudden, as they trail by a goal to nil with 10 minutes remaining. James Tarkowski's header from Dwight McNeil's corner on 60 minutes, separating these two teams. Everton 10 minutes away from their first win here in 5, just their 4th win of the entire season, home and away. And of course the first of the Sean Dyche era. And Saliba caught there by Neal Maupay, who has done nothing but kick people since coming on. Maybe that's what he's been brought on for, I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult to see what he offers the team at times, isn't he, Maupay?
Diagonal ball head to Vieira. On now to Bukayo Saka, who'll take on Mikalenko again. Cross comes in, it's over Nketiah. Coleman's lost it, but Trossard lost it too. And it's out of play for a goal kick to Everton.
Yeah, he lost his bearings a little bit there, Seamus Coleman, as the ball curled in. But as you said, Trossard also was caught out by that.
At the moment, Arsenal fans, I've got to tell you, I just can't see it, can you?
Not so far. If Everton continue to work at the rate that they are doing and the organisation that they have, Arsenal's opportunities are going to be limited.
13 unbeaten, Arsenal. 50 points from the opening half of the season. 8 wins in 10 away matches in the division. Not a feeling they're used to. But at the moment, they've got 10 minutes try and salvage something from this game. And a few of the star players of the season are not on the field. Jesus was never here. Ødegaard and Martinelli have been taken off. And once again, they're giving the ball away on the far side. Ben White and Saka couldn't combine well enough. Saka has surely then fouled McNeil there, not given. And Arsenal keep on going. And Trossard is shooting, but Trossard, well, that's a poor effort from him. It's into the stand behind Pickford's goal. We're trying to chip it in the top corner.
Yeah, David Cook's getting some stick because it looked like a foul, didn't it? An obvious foul on McNeil by Saka, right on the touchline. As the ball eventually gets across the field to Trossard, does make the most of an opportunity.
Well, I think everyone stopped there, or at least I did for a few seconds, because it was so obviously a foul.
Clear foul. There's been a few questionable decisions, hasn't there?
Well, and, you know, they try and let it go. They try and let it go these days, and try and let the game flow a bit more. And I think it has brought a lot of positives. But a foul's a foul, you know.
Yeah, and that couldn't have been more clear. And it was right under the eyes of the assistant referee.
Good play there by Vieira under pressure to get away from a couple of people. Jorginho as well in this very close central midfield. They're working away well, Arsenal, and they get up towards the halfway. But the pass again from Ben White is poor. He's not in a good game today, Ben White, and Tarkowski steps out to win it back for Everton. Left to McNeil, who takes White on the outside. He's had the pace of him all day, and once again they want a corner, and that is exactly what they've got from the early cross from McNeil on Ben White.
It's like a reborn Dwight McNeil, isn't it? I mean, I've not seen this from him at all. In fact, when he was at Burnley, he was rarely having this much impression in the game.
Corner kick on the attacking left-hand side for Everton. It was from the right where they scored the only goal of the game on 60 minutes. They are winning by a goal to nil. It's their 7th corner of the match, and the former Arsenal man Iwobi is over it. Right-footed, right under the goalkeeper. It's away by Saliba, on by Coleman. Tarkowski wants to have a chance at a shot here. It's bouncing, it's looping. It's a handball against James Tarkowski before he could get the shot away. Arsenal take the free kick quickly. Not sure that's really helped them. With Jorginho getting caught on the ball here by Maupay. Will take a shot here. One of the worst shots you're ever going to see. It's picked up easily by Ramsdale.
I think initially he saw that Ramsdale was off his line. He couldn't get the ball out of his feet quick enough, but he took the shot anyway, and Ramsdale was literally on his line when he actually hit it.
Zinchenko diagonal. McNeil gets there before Bukayo Saka. Saka tries to defend the ball out for a throw, which he has. And a fan has then thrown the ball away from Bukayo Saka as he tried to retrieve it from the fans over there. Just upsetting the Arsenal rhythm. Once again, Everton, the supporters playing their part. Throw in into Jorginho is intercepted by an Everton leg. Goes for another throw in. Arsenal going to be set to make another change here. Looks like Tomiyasu is about to come on. I'd be amazed if it wasn't for Ben White. Throwing into Nketiah, that's a foul by Eddie Nketiah, that's poor from the Arsenal striker, who's been largely anonymous today. And that's a free kick which goes Everton's way.
Yeah, he's been quiet, hasn't he, Nketiah, and you expect to see a lot more of him and get an opportunity. I don't think he's had a chance on goal today. And you're right, Ben White is making way for Tomiyasu.
Poor today, Ben White, I think. I'm surprised it's taken this long for this to happen. I mean, look, he isn't a right back. He's played it all season, but he's not a right back, and I think today that's been quite evident.
Yeah, this is the worst game I've seen him have in that position, and it looked like Dwight McNeil had the better of him, certainly in the second half.
Tomiyasu is on himself is a bit of a kind of versatile across the backline sort of player. I think it's probably his strongest position, but maybe just fresh legs against McNeil. There's 5 minutes remaining, folks. We're at Everton 1, Arsenal 0 here on Premier League Live. As it stands, Everton are moving out the relegation zone and Wolverhampton Wanderers are dropping in, and they are involved in our next feature match here, up against Liverpool. Tim Long, Kevin Watson, your commentary team for that. And they take over in about 15 minutes from now as Jordan Pickford gets a yellow card for time wasting on this goal kick, which in itself wastes more of our time.
Yeah, it frustrates me. I mean, Jordan Pickford, how many games has he played? He knows he's stepping over the line. Does he have to be doing that?
Well, I doubt he cares if Everton go on to win this game. And that's more flow disrupted. He's had the ball now for about 40 seconds.
Yeah, but it niggles the referee, and the referees sometimes get a mindset on little things like that.
Goal kick over everyone's head. Tomiyasu's first touch will touch it back to Ramsdale. That would have been going in there. Ramsdale has dealt with it well. Under pressure, clears it long. Trossard's not going to get that. And it's out of play into touch. They've really lost something since Martinelli's gone off it.
If you're scrutinising it, you have to say Arteta's made an error of judgment there.
Losing Thomas Partey as well, which may have been a fitness issue, has been a big blow as well. Coleman's throw, Zinchenko away. Xhaka heads it back now to Saliba and Gabriel, with an increasingly desperate looking Arsenal on the ball. Jorginho on debut carries up towards the centre circle, chips it left in towards Trossard, to trying to hold him up, fires one into Nketiah, couldn't do much with that. Idrissa Gana brings it away, challenged by Nketiah, throw into Everton.
He's been everywhere, Idrissa Gana, hasn't he? He's won the ball back so many times. I'd love to see his statistics after the game, but he's been a key element in the midfield. Again, one of the best games I've seen him have this season.
The annual new manager bounce once again working for Everton. Another new manager in, another potential relegation battle, another performance that nobody would have seen coming before the old boss got the elbow. Ball goes into the stand here on the sideline, and Zinchenko waiting for the fans to give it back to him and saying to the referee, make sure you add this on, which I'm sure he will. Ball is now back in play. We've got 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining. Tomiyasu down the line. 1-0 to Everton for those just joining us. Tarkowski's header on 60. First goal in the league for Everton. Left to Trossard, who's running in field. Finds a ball into Tomiyasu. Not easy to control, but he's done well. And it's on to Bukayo Saka. Further on to Vieira. Cuts it back, Vieira. That'll be a corner on the right-hand side to Arsenal. Fabio Vieira was blocked by that man again, Idrissa Gana. Almost like the old Idrissa Gana today.
Yeah, very much so.
Has struggled since returning to the Premier League from Liga. Such an important player for them before his departure. Corner Arsenal here, 90 seconds of normal time remaining. Big moment this. Saka's delivery towards the 6-yard box, away by Tarkowski. Further away by Coleman. Loops it long, pulled down by Vieira. Done really well there, Fabio Vieira. Back to the goalkeeper Ramsdale, right-footed long, away by Mikalenko, into touch. Sean Dyche lets it run across his body, but it's picked up by a member of the Arsenal staff just behind the Everton boss. We're hearing there's going to be 6 additional minutes at the end of this game. We've got a minute to go of normal time here, so 7 to endure as Zinchenko takes a shot from a long way out, and it's wide.
Yeah, that was optimistic, wasn't it? never really threatened the goal.
Shows where Arsenal are, though. The ideas aren't there.
Yeah, Everton's organisation, they've never really been pulled apart by Arsenal. Arsenal's breaks have generally come through diagonal balls or switching play, and that's down to the midfield being really tight and compact. Tarkowski and Cody have stayed very, very close together during the whole match as well.
A day that began with the "We want the board out" chants is currently ending with a "We love you Everton" chant. I say it all the time, but it really is a funny old game, isn't it? Wins change everything. They always have, they always will. At the moment, Everton are on the verge of one. Haven't got it yet. Only would be their 4th of the season if it comes. 1st and 11 if it comes. Saliba forward, away by Tarkowski's head. And Nana brings it down, who's been magnificent today in midfield. He's now driving forward, but his touch was too heavy, and Saliba can win it back. Chasing him down now, Nana goes to ground with a sliding challenge and wins the ball back as well. And he's won a throw for his team as well. And there's a big reaction to those Everton fans as well. Gets them up off their seats.
Fabulous play there from Onana. He took the responsibility. Firstly, good skill to turn in his own half, and then to take on the Arsenal defence down the left flank. Kind of half lost it, but chased it down again. He won a throw in the end.
Now Mikalenko wants the corner. He hasn't won it. He's chipped it straight into touch. Confirmation 6 minutes have been added on. And Arsenal try and get things moving with Zinchenko carrying towards the halfway line. Still a long way to go here, but Arsenal do not look likely, I've got to say. Saka picked it up by the corner flag, and he's won a corner for his team just about. Mikalenko, who stuck to him like glue today, has got a little challenge in there.
Well, can Everton stay calm in these frantic moments towards the end of the game, because Arsenal are piling the pressure.
Saka is over it. Almost everyone is in the Everton penalty area here from both teams. Currently a corner that separates the two, and it's on the edge to Zinchenko! Volleys over the top. It was Brighton alert from Arsenal there. Saka into Zinchenko, was allowed to let it bounce twice, but he's got two underneath it.
Yeah, Everton just let him go free at the edge of the box, didn't really see that as a possibility. Saka picks out Zinchenko literally on the 18-yard line, gets under it.
Well, a bit of ingenuity from Arsenal, which maybe is what is required here, but didn't work that time. I'm not too sure what else they've got. That will be a concern for Mikel Arteta, whose substitutions have not quite worked. And won the ball back again, though. There is still time for Arsenal to salvage a draw from this game. Oh, Zinchenko, terrible ball cross field, under hit. One back by McNeil on the halfway line, who tries to drive forward, loses out to the two players on him. Once again, Onana pressing to try and win it back immediately, can't do so. Left to Trossard, two players on him. Poked in field, one back by Garner, one back by Decore. Good play by Trossard, but it's nutmeg Xhaka, and now Trossard has committed a foul. And the Everton midfield, once again, the dominant force in the game.
Yeah, Garner again very much involved in winning the ball back. He wins the foul there. It's definitely a contender for man of the match in my regard, in my book.
Well, there's three pretty obvious candidates, aren't there, in Everton shirts today. One is Garner, who's down, one is Onana, and one is Decore. Bit of a 4-5-1, 4-4-2. Decore maybe a bit more advanced, but the three of them right now playing against Fabio Vieira and Jorginho, I think they'd like those odds.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So that change in midfield for Arsenal has not really helped them at all. It's been consistent from the Everton midfield. You can't say that about many performances this season.
On the verge of victory at Goodison Park as Jordan Pickford blasts the ball long. One by Zinchenko. Free kick going the way, I was going to say, of Everton here. It seemed like a free kick, but it's actually gone for a throw. I thought that was a foul by Gabriel. He and Decore were battling for a loose ball.
The referee's actually given a throw in. There's two balls on the field. There's confusion everywhere. Yeah, I also think it's a free kick.
There's been one Jorginho's laid that pass too short now, and it's not going to go into touch. And now Ramsdale's got to chase it to knock it into touch before they can get on with it, which they now have. Maupay then does his best to kick Zinchenko. Oh, and now Zinchenko has rather stamped on Neal Maupay. Maupay has then brought him down. Zinchenko has been drawn into it here by Neal Maupay, who absolutely loves it. Laughing at Zinchenko, laughing at the assistant. And Arsenal, well, on the verge of losing, and they're going to lose. They've been no good today by their own standards, and Everton are ditching their way to victory.
Well, that's an ugly half ball, let's say, going on down there. Arsenal players mixing with the Everton players. Started with Zinchenko and Maupay.
Well, Maupay took a swipe at him and it's gone, and then Zinchenko tries to stamp on him and Maupay sort of drags him down afterwards. I mean, I actually think it's probably a foul by Neal Maupay, but he doesn't care about that. He'd stop the attack. That was the idea. Zinchenko then gets in his face while he's on the ground. I think we'll probably just get on with it, won't we?
Yeah, very messy.
Well, Maupay got what he wanted. It's Neal Maupay who's getting yellow carded, quite rightly, I would say. He thinks he's done a good job on Zinchenko, which he did if the goal was to stop the play, but not if he was trying to get him carded. And now it's an Arsenal free kick. 3 yards inside their own half, and everyone's in the Everton half, apart from this man Ramsdale, who'll take it. It's long, it's towards the penalty area. It's won by Tarkowski, as I think many of you would have predicted. Picked up by Vieira, infield to Saka. Seconds remaining here. We're over 6 minutes, but there will be more added on thanks to that brawl. Vieira's pass is poor. Maupay has won it back. Tomiyasu has fouled him, and I think that's probably that.
Yeah, and Everton have not really been that pressurised by Arsenal, have they, in the second half? I suppose they did score. Everton scored at a really good time. Still 30 minutes to go in the game, but they've held on and held on really well. Sean Dyche will be delighted with what he's seen.
Yeah. It is about the Sean Dyche as it gets at Goodison Park. It looked like a good fit. They were doing whatever they could to not hire Sean Dyche for some reason. The right man at the right time, maybe at the right club, about to deliver 3 points and about to get them out of the relegation zone. And his first game in charge, for now at least. Fired long towards Onana, who can't control it, and it's a goal kick, and we've no idea how long is to be played from this point. We're into 97. There is no more to be played. It's victory for Everton. It's victory for Dyche. They're out the bottom 3. Trevor Stephen, final thoughts.
Incredible result for Everton. No one saw this coming. The quality performance was there. The organisation was there. Everton are out of the relegation zone. Fantastic news for Evertonians.
1 goal in it. It was the Burnley connection. McNeil to Tarkowski, and Sean Dyche is the latest Toffees manager to get that new bounce and that 3 points feeling. They're out the bottom 3 and we're out of time. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Previously